おっと、時間か。今のところテストに出るからな。ちゃんとノート書いておけよ。今日はここまで。起立。礼。
The math teacher, wait. What was his name again? Well, whatever. The teacher left the classroom, and that was the end of classes for the day. Some students started chatting about where they would go after school. Those who were in clubs gathered with their fellow members and headed for their club rooms. And the rest were just getting ready to go home ASAP. I was in the last camp. As soon as the bell rang, I was always the first to pack up and leave. But today I stayed glued to my seat, trying to avoid eye contact with any of my classmates. My anxiety was killing me. After all, my date with Yua was very soon. And normal, non-Vidya obsessed person would have been losing their mind to have a date with a girl planned. Vidya? Netzslang für Videogames. Habe ich noch nie gehört. But this was me we are talking about, and I couldn't feel any more depressed. I couldn't relax at all. I was feeling physically sick. This would be the first time I would ever gone on a date with a girl, so I had no clue what to do. Besides, would Yua even show up? Maybe she had been just fucking with me yesterday and she planned on standing me up. She was probably watching from the shadows right now, giggling at how gullible I was. Well, now that I thought about it, that honestly might be better than her actual showing up. Wait, did I really have to just sit around waiting? I mean, I could just blow her off and go home. Alright, it's settled. Time to head home. We were in different grades anyway, so if I just cancelled our date at the last minute, I would never have to see her again for the rest of my life. Tja, nur dass sie weiß, wo du wohnst, aber egal. Fully determined to follow through with that plan, I stood up.
たく、何してんだ?
Out of nowhere, my back fell victim to a hard slap. I knew who was behind me without even looking. The only guy in class who ever talked to me, none other than Misumi-kun.
お前帰らないのか? いつもならチャイムが鳴ると同時に消えるのによ。俺密かに匠の音速直帰って名付けてたんだぜ。
もう帰るよ。
誰か待ってるとか。
え?
Erwischt. How the hell did he know? Ja, wenn man sich anders verhält als sonst immer.
なんだよ、図星かよ。
どうして？
なんだかやけにそわそわしてたからな。教室の入り口をさっきから何度も気にしてるし。
He was good. Either way, I probably shouldn't say anything that would make me stand out too much. Don't you forget, Takumi, you have gotta be invisible at the school. You've gotta blend in, be like air.
別に誰も待ってないよ。
そうか? だったら今の間はなんだよ。
それは。
Fuck, Misumi-kun wasn't a bad guy, but at times like these, he could get really fucking annoying. Take a hint, for fuck's sake. Shivers ran down my spine. I slowly turned my head toward the boys. Yua was standing by the classroom door, looking apologetic. Oh goddammit, because of Mizumiku, I had lost my chance to escape.
おい、なんだりゃ、どういうことだ?
Mizumi-kun looked unusually shocked. In fact, he was literally shaking. He put his arm around my shoulder and gave me a stern look.
おいタク、どういうことか説明しろよ。お前の彼女か。
違うよ。
How many times have I told you, Mizumi-kun, I'm not into 3D?
だったら何なんだよ。言っとくが、タクの姉ちゃんとかそういうオチは期待してねえからな。引きこもりのくせに何をどうやったらあんないい女と知り合えるんだ。
昨日急に付きまとわれて。
そりゃつまりあれか、逆難されたってことか。え、この
He put his hand on his shin, pondering for a moment, and then he finally let go.
そうか、世の中には物好きってのもいるんだな。けどタクがまともな性癖を持ってたみたいで少し安心したぜ。
性癖って。それに彼女とは別に何も。
そうかそうか、頑張れよタク。
Mizumi-kun wasn't taking me seriously at all. He just got all excited over his own assumptions, then slapped my back even harder than before. At this point, he was just screwing with me.
安心しろって。お前の女を寝取ったりしねえから。
だからそういう関係じゃ。
ほらさっさと行けよ。彼女お待ちかねみたいだぜ。
Mizumi-kun ordered me to move, so I stumbled over to Yua. Despite my best efforts, I hadn't been able to escape.
迎えに来たの迷惑でした？
いや。
Yes, you fucking are. I turned to look at Mizumi-kun, but he just grinned and gave me the finger. Honestly, I couldn't tell whether he was trying to pick a fight or cheer me on. I couldn't deal with his shit any longer, so I decided to just hurry up and leave with Yua.
すいません。昨日会ったばかりなのにこんなお願いをしてしまって。
いや。
I was so nervous. I was leaving school together with a 3D girl. Was I a normie now, or what? I had always felt like this was all in a completely different world from mine. I never would have thought I would get to experience something like this. But now I was feeling the intense pressure of your silence. We were just walking side by side, not even talking, so why was this so stressful? And to the top of it all off, I didn't really know who Yua was or what her goal was. Just what did she want from an otaku freak like me?
おとといの
いや。
She started talking to me out of nowhere, so I got surprised as that weird sound I had made just came out. Yua also seemed really nervous. Her expression was so tense. She was older than me, so how was she still so innocent? Or surprisingly moe? Then again, I probably wasn't the best person to be talking about innocence, since I could hardly manage more than a quick sidelong glance at her. I was too embarrassed to take a proper look at her face. I just couldn't do it.
おとといのブラチュ見ましたよね？
うん。
私一箇所だけいまいちよくわからないところがあったんですけど、すすむくんがセイラちゃんのピンチに駆けつけてきて助けてくれますよね。でもどうしてすすむくんはセイラちゃんが危ないって分かったのかなって。
あれは先週の回に伏線があったんだ。セイラの携帯が鳴ってるシーンが一瞬だけ挿入されてて、着信表示で進むの名前が出てる。
そういえばそんなシーンありましたね。
山田はそういう細かい伏線をあちこちに貼るのが好きなんだ。キンゴルでも似たようなことをやってた。
山拓キンゴル？
いや、山田っていうのはブラチューの監督の愛称だよ。で、山田がブラチューの前に監督やってたアニメがキンゴル。
へえ、じゃあ山拓さんって有名な監督さんなんですね。
まあ僕は好きな方かな。なんでかっていうと、
I had been lecturing Yua about the various facets of anime when I realized we were already in front of Animate. Time flew by way faster than I had expected. I had let myself get carried away and talked way too much. Well, it didn't help that Yua was such a good listener. She paid such close attention while I shared my wisdom. I couldn't help but want to tell her everything I knew, even though I knew I was falling right into her trap. All this, and yet I wasn't even good at talking. This was the first time I had ever felt this way. I was talking out loud, but it felt like I was chatting online. It was a strange feeling.
なんだかドキドキしてきました。先に帰ったりしないでくださいね。
うん。
Yua only got more and more nervous as she went up and spoke to the store employee. It was clear that she was out of her comfort zone, but all I could do was just stand there and watch as she placed the pre-order for the post-awakening version Seirak figure. There weren't any opportunities to escape. Yua kept anxiously glancing back at me, so I couldn't budge an inch. Right after that, she even forced me to look around the store with her. Yua was looking all around with a big grin on her face, saying things like, "Wow, there's not enough money in the world to buy all these figures." But even in the face of all that enthusiasm, I just couldn't find it in me to smile back at her. my Daniel's Hamburgers, okay? Ist auch eine gute Variante. So apparently Yua took the train to school, which meant I had to accompany her all the way to Shinzen Station. She might not look like it, but she was a devious one, all right. She always managed to get her way, all without making herself look even remotely selfish. Clever girl. Talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing.
西条くんって携帯は持ってないんですか？
Once we had reached the station, Yua suddenly asked me that question. A cell phone? I shook my head weakly.
持ってないんですか。それじゃ連絡が取れないですね。
連絡？
Why the hell would she want to stay in touch? What was she going to demand that I texted her about every little thing for the rest of my life?
でも西条くんパソコン持ってましたよね。私も持ってるからメールアドレスを交換しませんか？
どうして？
そのフィギュアの発売日に取りに行かなくちゃいけませんよね。その時にまた一緒に。まだ一人でアニメ8に行く勇気はないから。
She was good.
それに
She was way too good.
私西条くんと
I knew she had her claws in me, but I just couldn't turn her down. If I did, I would look like the bad guy.
もっと
3D was the scariest fucking thing in the world.
仲良くなりたいから。
How was she doing this? Was it just because I was bad at talking to people? Or was she just too good? Either way, Yua seemed intent on not leaving until she had my email. Yet, at the same time, I could sense a bit of unease behind those glasses of her. I could practically feel my way to resist draining from my body. There were goosebumps all over my body, shivers running down my spine, but I couldn't run away and I couldn't turn her down. There was definitely something up with Yua. This aura she had, it wasn't normal. I couldn't really put it into words exactly what it was that bothered me so much, but whatever it was, something wasn't right. Before I knew it, I had torn out a scrap of my notebook paper, written down my email address, and handed it to her. She took it, looking happy as can be, then quickly bowed her head and disappeared into the station. I felt like my soul had left my body. I just stood there, completely dumbfounded. Even after 10 minutes passed, I couldn't move an inch. So, what do you make of all of this, of her? So, because personally, I don't have the slightest clue. So, there is no way she doesn't have ulterior motives or something. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. Hey, you listening, Grim? What eroge is this? That night I decided to consult Grim about Yua. I figured I might as well. If I just kept my paranoia to myself, I wouldn't get anywhere. And that was the response I gotten? Well, not like I could blame him. The first time I had spoken with Yua, I reacted the exact same way. Was stupid of me to think you would be any help, Grim. Now wait, one fucking second. You were being seriously? You actually managed to raise a flag with someone? You really have a way of getting whatever you want, huh? Lol. Now, who said they weren't into 3D? Into 3D again? Le Mofao. It's not like that, dude. Grim's reaction was almost identical to Misumi-kun's. Were they the same person or something? Well, for a turbo virgin like you, Neidhart, now that you have a girl, it should be easy to leave otakodom behind and lose your V-card. You gotta be careful though, like if you start talking to her about your school swimsuit fetish, she'll dump your ass. So, she will dump your ass. So, use common sense. Ja gut, das besitzt er ja scheinbar nicht.
メールだよボケなす
Wow. What's wrong with my school swimsuits fetish? This guy's hopeless. I better do something quick. Und hat scheinbar einen Seira-chan Mail-Sound und hat wahrscheinlich E-Mail von Yua jetzt gekriegt. Oh, out of nowhere I heard Seira-chan's voice. That was my custom email notification sound. I casually went to check my email and the sender's name was Kusunoki Yua.
うわ、早速来た。
She's, yeah. I got an email. Just now. Boom, there it is. This was the first time I had ever gotten an email from a 3D girl. I gulped, then clicked to open it. Okay, good evening. This is Kusunoki. I sent this email as soon as I was able to. I would appreciate if you added me to your address book. My apologies for making you accompany me today. Sorry. Even so, I still had a lot of fun. Perhaps because it was my first time going to a store like that. Or maybe it was because Nichijou-kun was with me, lol. What time will you be coming to school tomorrow, Nichijou-kun? Oh, I'm only asking because I was hoping I would be able to say hello tomorrow morning, that's all. It would be nice if we could run into each other again tomorrow. Well, I will be sure to email you again soon. Good night. Okay, sie weiß nicht, dass er nur alle paar Tage überhaupt zur Schule geht, damit er Minimum Requirement erfüllt. Yua's usual elegancy and purity shone through the email, and by using a lot of emoticons, she gave it a bit of friendly tone too. But when she said such things like, maybe it was because Nishijo-kun was with me, or I was hoping I would be able to say hello tomorrow morning, I just couldn't help but feel like she was up to something. Post it now! It's time, chill the fuck out. Just usual greetings and shit. Whatever, bro, post it, post it. Okay. Post it already. Okay, ich postet ja tatsächlich die ganze E-Mail in Chatverlauf. Grim wouldn't stop pestering me, so I just gave up and posted the entire email. So I did censor my and yours personal information at least. Oh, would ya look at that lovey-dovey email? Case Neidhart, you normie scum. Please take this seriously. This must be some kind of trap. Yeah, how tight the tinfoil hat you got on. You sure you're not overthinking it? It just looks like you raised the flag with a chick to me. You're almost at the good end already. That's what I mean. There's no way this is real. You think this could happen to an otaku freak like me? There's no way. You think a cute girl would try to pick me up IRL? Good lord, are you seriously complimenting your girlfriend already? Could you quite trolling for 1 second? Come on, I already told you, you're just overthinking it. We're two of a kind, aren't we? We are two of a kind, aren't we, Neidhart? We both know good girls like that don't exist anymore. Yeah, I was fully aware, but she really was that nice. And that's exactly what didn't feel right to me. Well, maybe her stalking shit went a bit too far, but that's kind of hot, don't you think, Lel? It means she really likes you. And you said she likes anime too? Yeah, no way such a perfect girlfriend exists, bro. Not for us otaku anyway, Lamau. Just don't go ruin her with your degenerate shit. Well, that might not be so bad. No, scratch that. That was exactly what I wanted. Still, cheer up a bit. She made the first move, bro. I'm not into 3D. You say that, but we both know you really want to go out with her. Am I right? If you want to de-otakify yourself, now's your chance, lol. You won't get a second one, and you know it. Congrats, you're popular now. Won't last long, so don't let it go to waste. Just come and go on the attack. Just be Neidhart IRL and you can do it. You got the green light, bro. Wow, dieser Typ. If I could just do it, I wouldn't be going through so much turmoil. Ja, vor allem das Ding ist halt, wo sie nachher E-Mail gefragt hat, das ist halt so, ja, Telefon oder E-Mail, ne, eigentlich ganz so normale Sache. Und er so, boah, die hat doch was vor, die plant doch was. Das ist schon sehr seltsam. Bei anderen Sachen kann man verstehen, mit Stalking und alles, und dass sie so nett zu ihm ist, da kann man schon sagen, verdächtig, ne? Aber da kann man im Hinterkopf ja aufpassen und dann trotzdem versuchen, nett zu sein, beziehungsweise normal. Like I would realize something when I was talking with you the other day. Sure, there were a couple of moments where I had fun or felt happy, but aside from that, I just felt annoyed and completely exhausted. If that was what I had to go through with every IRL interaction, then I would honestly rather just live in the 2D world where I could do whatever I want. Ja, körperliche Interaktionen sind schwierig, ganz besonders wenn man sie nicht gewohnt ist. And that was why I decided not to reply to yours email. Wow. A fire burned bright into the sky. Scorching red cinders danced around the incinerator. The flame was fueled by sailor-style school uniform along with countless textbooks. On a foothill overlooking the Seto Inland Sea, a girl stood in her home's garden. The steam whistles of boats echoed in the distance, and the nearby trees gently swayed in the refreshing sea breeze. In the midst of such serene scene, the girl Orihara Kozue stood still and alone in front of the incinerator, bathing in the somber ambience of its cinders. The girl's gaze was locked onto the school uniform and textbooks as they were slowly reduced to ashes, each becoming clad in a crimson glimmer, until only yesterday they had been her school uniform and her textbooks. Und ich glaube, das sind Dinge, die in Japan gehen, aber in Deutschland nicht. Beziehungsweise sie wären illegal, wenn man erwischt wird dabei. Einfach Dinge verbrennen. Einfach so. Despite having lit the fire herself, the girl did not move from the spot, perhaps out of a lingering sense of regret. That, too, lasted only a moment. She suddenly knitted her eyebrows and covered her ears as hard as she could. She gasped in agony, and yet she did nothing more. The girl did not moan, nor did she raise any tearful complaints. All she let out was a series of ragged breaths. She shook her head repeatedly from side to side as if to express a fierce, visceral objection. And as she did, her strength slowly started to crumble, and she collapsed to the ground. She fell on her backside with a thud, let her jaw droop as if utterly exhausted, and looked up to the sky with a dazed expression on her face. Minutes later, she was still in that exact same position, not having moved a single muscle, until suddenly she turned around with conviction, as if she had heard someone call out to her. She looked toward the house's porch. The wooden house had been built over 50 years ago, so despite it being daytime, it appeared quite dim. Anything beyond the porch could barely be seen. Kozue slowly stood back up and walked over to the porch, and at that very moment her mother appeared with impeccable timing.
あら、梢ちゃん。
Ich habe vergessen, dass die Taste das Ding öffnet.
探してたのよ。もう荷物の整理はできたの？
Kozue promptly nodded and slowly sat down.
あさってにはもうこの家ともお別れなのね。
Her mother took a seat next to her, gazing towards the inland sea with a gentle look in her
東
eye.
京なんて行くの、梢ちゃんは初めてよね。いいお友達ができるといいわね。
Despite her mother's caring words, Kozue did not nod, nor even shake her head in response. She simply remained silent, gazing wistfully towards the still burning incinerator in the corner of the garden. Another week came, and with it another school day. As usual, I headed to school with my head hung low, depressed as ever. Autumn was starting to come into full swing. The leaves of the trees in Shoto Park were slowly changing color, and I was starting to feel chilly in my short-sleeve uniform. I suppose it made sense that I would be surprised by the change of season, given I rarely went outside in the first place. Aber ich nehme an, wenn andere schon die School-Uniform auf die Winteruniform ändert haben, dass er das wahrscheinlich auf dem Weg zu Pflicht hätte sehen müssen. Aber egal. I still hadn't really registered that summer had ended. My weekend had consisted of non-stop ESO. Grim had kept on bugging me about Yua, but I had just ignored him. I hadn't gotten an email from Yua since that first one. I hadn't replied to her first one either, so maybe she had finally given up on me. I really hoped that was the case. Whenever I talked to Yua, my feelings always got all jumbled up. Those interactions almost made me have a little hope. But there was no point in being so optimistic. At the end of the day, I was just an otaku freak. My whole life, I would never ever had any success with 3D, so I had just given up to it, on it. Please don't give me any hope. Please don't have any hope for me. Just as I thought that, someone tapped me on my shoulder from behind. I figured it was Nanami or Mizumi-kun, but when I turned around, I was shocked.
西条くん
Hat die Stalkerin wieder verfolgt. Und er hat es nicht bemerkt wahrscheinlich. Yua was looking at me with a smile on her face. Her cheeks were a little flushed. Why was she so out of breath? Weil sie dich gesehen hat und hinterhergerannt ist halt.
後ろ姿が見えたからもしかしたら西条くんかなって思って走って追いかけちゃいました。
Had she really not given up yet? Did she still have some hope left in me? Selbst wenn nicht, sie wollte dich doch beim Abholen vom Pre-Order dabei haben. Weil sie alleine keine, halt Angst hat und so.
おはようございます、西条くん。やっと言えました。土日を含めて4日もかかってしまいましたけど。
Also war sein nächster Schultag quasi 4 Tage her.
先週メールを送ったんですけど、読んでもらってます？
I found myself nodding out of reflex.
よかった。返事がなかったからてっきり届いていないかと思って何度か送り直そうとしたんですけど、我慢しておいて正解でした。
Seriously, what the hell did Yua want from me? Soziale Interaktion, Junge. Did she expect me to like her back? Did she want me to be her boyfriend? And then did she want us to live out some intimate, lovey-dovey fantasy together? Vielleicht will sie auch einfach nur befreundet sein. Könnte das vielleicht sein? Aber okay, das kommt einem Otaku-Freak wohl nicht in den Kopf wahrscheinlich. There was no way I could do that. No way I could be that normal, no matter how hard I tried. I really wanted to, but it just wasn't possible. Offenkundig. I still didn't understand why Yua even liked me in the first place, which made it all the more impossible to trust her. So I just couldn't do it.
西条くん、どうしたんですか？ずっと立ち止まってるので。
Upon realizing that, I quickly started to walk away, leaving Yua behind, but before I could very far, Yua had already caught up with me.
昨日西条くんのクラスに行ったんですけど、いませんでしたよね。もしかして風邪でもひいて休んでるんじゃないかと思って心配だったんです。でも元気そうでよかった。
たまにしか。
はい？
僕、たまにしか学校来ない。みんなから引きこもりって思われてる。
Did that break the spell? You are totally disillusioned now that you know the truth, right? If so, I didn't mind. I had never gotten my hopes up anyway. Go ahead and call me an otaku freak, and then after that, never talk to me again.
そうですか。でも今日は会えてよかったです。
I was left speechless. All I could manage to do was stare at your smile, but when our eyes met, I got flustered and looked down. How was she not disgusted by me?
っていうか、たまにでも学校に来てるなら、西条くんは引きこもりじゃないと思います。すいません。分かったようなこと言っちゃって。
でも苦痛だよ。
だとしたら偉いです。
I never thought I would ever hear someone say that to me. What the hell was respectable about a total loser like me? A gentle smile had spread over Yua's face, a smile so sweet it could cure any disease. That was genuinely what I thought in that
だって
moment.
西条くんは辛いのに頑張って学校に来ていますから。
Hat sie nicht Unrecht, wenn man es positiv sieht, ne?
普通なら普通は来られないですよ。
でも僕はオタだしキモいし。
私西条くんの話を聞くの好きですよ。
What the hell? What was with all this validation? Why did hearing it make me feel so good about myself? It felt like Yua was embracing me all the way down to my core. Like she was giving me the right to be here, to exist in this moment. It felt like when I was with her, maybe I could even be a normal person again.
大変予例ですよ。
I hadn't realized until now, but almost all the students were already gone. Everyone had made their way into the school
西条
building.
くん、それじゃあ私失礼します。あ、今日の放課後時間ありますか？
え？
もしよかったらその一緒に帰りましょう。
With a timid tone, Yua mumbled her words, a faint blush on her cheeks.
放課後中庭で待ってます。もし気が向いたら来てください。あ、無理に来なくても全然平気ですから。失礼します。
Yua bowed elegantly, then darted off toward the third-year classrooms. I watched her disappear into the building, then I pinched my cheek. It really wasn't a dream, or a delusion.